On the way to the big fish deal, I was not sure what to expect. And I had a few plans and that sort of thing. I knew a couple of videos that I wanted to shoot. I knew a couple of stories I might want to tell. But I've never been to this convention. And looking around the lobby, I was curious about all these tanks that were being set up. They were in different stages of construction Friday and Saturday. And it was pretty exciting to kind of see these things come together. Imagine bringing a whole aquarium and setting it up right there in the lobby of a hotel. When you walked in on Saturday, you saw two things going on, basically. The Kids Tank Contest and the Aquarium Beautiful Contest. This is a story about that Aquarium Beautiful Contest and a little bit about its contestants. We're going to start with talking about the tanks. I did not get a chance to shoot every tank that was there. There was at least a couple that came in late, and a couple of tanks didn't have fish in them until later in the day. But here's a real quick look around the room at the Aquarium Beautiful Contest.
Get your thing, but if we can keep the conversation down, we're going to go ahead and we'll get started with our award presentation tonight. This year has been an incredible success so far. We've increased our attendance for this event by almost 75% over last year. So, thank you all for showing up, and let's get started with the fun stuff. class 4 was our CARES class. Each of these tanks featured a CARES fish that's endangered in the wild. So we've got 2 prizes left to give out. One's the People's Choice Award, and the other is the Best in Show. Both of these awards were sponsored by Tannin Aquatics. Our People's Choice Award goes to Jen Williams. And our Best in Show tank this year, for his beautifully scaped 10-gallon, Alex Wenchel. All right, everybody get your raffle tickets up. I need a couple people to help us run raffles.
Pecktec, and I've got Victor Almeida, one of the winners from the Aquarium the Beautiful contest. Now, what did you win exactly?
I got first place on the nanid planet tanks. It wasn't the planet, it was just the nano tanks. I got third place for the planet tanks, the medium tanks, and I also got third place on the African, the CARES tank species.
You also blow glass.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to school at Salisbury, and one of my friends was blowing glass at the time, and he was like, hey, come into the studio, watch our instructor give a demo. He was blowing a dog head. It was a clear dog head. And I went in, watched him make this ridiculous dog head. It was about this big. He made it, and all of a sudden, right at the end of the piece, the thing just breaks and just shatters, falls on the floor, and we're all like, oh my God, it broke. And he's just like, oh, it's just another piece. And I'm like, you don't even care. And just watching him go through that process and being that involved and dedicated to it kind of really got me into wanting to do that kind of artwork.
Do you primarily keep planet tanks at home?
Yeah. I actually started just with planet tanks. I recently purchased a bunch of other tanks. I'm starting to breed and grow out different fish, but I really love planet tanks, especially Amazon style. Being from Brazil, I love just the very heavy planted look, the natural overgrown feel. So yeah.
What inspires you? Or do you look for inspiration in any particular aquarist or aquascapist?
Yeah, definitely. I've been inspired by a lot of the people I've met here this weekend. I'd say like Joey, Joey.
Yeah.
Just watching his tanks. I didn't really know you could keep freshwater stingrays until I saw him keep it in his tanks, and it just kind of opened up new doors for me. Watching these different people keep weird fish that I'd never heard of, or just in weird ways, like crazy tanks and setups.
Isn't it wild? Like you can always discover that there's another fish you've never seen and never heard of, and you'll only see them in a place like this.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like last night. There was a stingray here. I actually bought it in the auction.
You did?
Yeah. I ended up making a deal with one of my friends. He ended up taking it, but no one knew what it was. No one could ID it. We don't know if this thing's gonna be 5 feet or get monstrous. So it's like you're not gonna find that online. Going to a little pet shop, but
mystery stingray.
Yeah. We don't know what that thing
It could be a teacup. It could be 8 feet wide. We don't know yet. You'll know soon. So what would you say is your favorite species of fish to keep? Do you have a favorite yet, or do you just kind of like them all?
No. I love keeping discus. I started making the glass discus recently, but I don't know. That's a tough choice, man. So far, discus are my favorite because I like the way they look, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get tired of them soon because I wanted to keep something a little bit more exotic, a little bit different, and that's why I wanted to get the stingray yesterday, but it didn't didn't suit right into what I was trying to do. So eventually I want to get some stingrays and maybe work into some African cichlids.
Stingray would be definitely worth building a tank for.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Really nice to talk to you. Tell me, I hear this is on your desk at work. Is that right?
It is, yeah. I have it on my cube at work, and one day, last September, I just brought it in and hoped no one would question it. And people sort of made fun of me a little bit, but no one really questioned it. No one told me to take it home. So for the last, 7, 8 months, I've been maintaining it and just making it look as pretty as I can.
Now, Alex, I keep an aquarium on my desk at work, and I got the same reaction where you brought an aquarium to work. But I tell you what, if you want to keep a nicely cleaned aquascape tank, take it to work with you.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw me before we turned on the camera, I wanted to film, I wanted to just tweak a little bit of something. So I have a couple of tools at my desk every day. And whenever I get bored or whenever I'm just at lunch, I'll just tweak a little bit. This is by far the best maintained tank that I've got because I sit in front of it 8 hours a day.
Truly, there's no other tank that I stare at more than my work tank. I've got a fluval flora, and I meticulously clean that tank. What is your kit at work to take care of this? Do you have a kit under your desk? I have a Tupperware under my desk just full of tools and silica packets.
I do. I have a 2-gallon bucket that then has hose and it has all the tools. And then I've got some backup CO2 cartridges because this runs on CO2. And about 3 weeks ago, I was switching out the cartridges for the CO2 tank, and I forgot to put the gasket in the little canister, so it exploded all over my hand. I got pretty severe burns on the inside of my hand, but it made a huge explosion sound. And literally 50 people from around the office were like, "What is going on? What are you doing?"
What awards did you pick up? You got Best in Show?
Yeah, let's see. I got Best in Show, although Jen's tank won Best in Show for the voters, and it is an amazing tank.
It is.
It is a better tank than mine. And then I got medium tank for second place, which Jen got first. So there's the proof in the pudding. And then first place for planted tank.
Wow. How long has this tank been going?
I planted all of the hair grass and everything in September.
September. You got a nice thick carpet.
Thank you.
Is there a secret to doing that?
Time is one thing, but also when you get hair grass packet, the instinct is to just jam it in the ground. At least that's your first instinct, and that's what I did for 2 years. And that's absolutely not what you should do. You divide it into one individual little hair with a little root, and then you take tongs, and when the tank is completely dry, I plant 200-300 of these little grass follicles.
As individuals?
As individuals. And it takes 2 or 3 hours to coat something like this. And there's about a ½ inch between each hair when it starts out. And then over the course of about 3 months, it fills out and spreads the entire thing. And I encourage the growth by taking scissors and I trim down the hair, because the hair would normally grow to be about this tall on the tank.
Oh, really?
But I trim it down every 2 weeks or so that it grows out rather than up.
And you can cut it in half and it's okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like normal grass. There are a lot of plants that if you cut off the top, it doesn't grow anymore.
Yeah.
But our lawn grass, this grass grows from the base up rather from the top up. So you can trim off the top and it will continue to grow up from the base.
You've got some great little nano species in here too. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so I bought a big school of Chili Raspora from Rachel O'Leary. And she actually brought these in 2 days ago. Up till this point, I just had shrimp in this tank.
Oh, okay.
So I bought those off of her, and then I took about another 40 of them home with me and put them in a little 20 long until I can figure out what to do with them.
Well, you did get a lot.
I got a lot. She looked at me and she's like, "You want 50 of these?" I was like, "Yep, 50. So she spent, I don't know how long, dividing up, because there are a lot of the Raspora that look very similar.
Yeah, yeah.
And she did a great job of finding 50 chilies out of her big school of mixed Raspora. But hopefully when I get them into the office, they'll really pop up, and I think everyone will really be into them, because I took the shrimp home about 2 months ago, and every day someone walks by and asks me what's in the tank, and there's nothing in the tank. So now there'll be something for people to look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, how many tanks do you have at home?
Too many? I only have like 5, but by the fact that I'm saying only have 5, that tells you I already have a problem.
I have 13, so.
Yeah, so we both have problems.
Yeah.
I have a 75, a 60, a 20 long, a 6, and then a 1 at home, and then I've got the 10 here. And then you just saw me buy another one just now. So
The struggle is real.
it really is. I do not recommend it.
Congratulations to
Thank
you.
you so much.
I'm here talking to Jeff and Tammy. Tell me about this aquarium. How did this come to be?
Well, it was originally Tammy's idea with the tank. So she's got really great ideas, and I can make them happen. So that's how this happened. Is we just wanted to do something really cool that would really engage some of the younger people in the hobby, some of the young guys, young girls even. They see something like this, and it can change their opinion of the aquarium hobby.
Right.
You know, and we just, the idea sort of flowed together. I started doing some sketches, and then just started throwing some wood together. So the pieces came together as they could, a little bit of stop, plan, reassess, reevaluate, redo a few things, but altogether I think it came together pretty well.
What's at the core of the tank?
So we're dealing with half-inch MDF. Half-inch MDF is a material here. It is a 10-gallon tank within it, so I had to create the framework for the tank first, and then sort of create a platform for it to go on. So the whole thing is modular. The whole thing comes apart in different pieces. But MDF all around had to do a little bit of waterproofing as well. So just to make sure if there's any spills or anything like that, that it's going to last.
And I was there when the kid that won it yesterday. You said he put in one ticket and he won this. You put this in the raffle, and he already had his camo on and everything. I think he was born to have that
It
tank.
was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for somebody better to get the tank. Yeah, I had this idea in mind that it could just go home with somebody who would really appreciate it. Not that I wouldn't, but I've got no space for something like this. So I built it, and I said to John Clark, who's the president of the club, I said, if you guys can figure out a way to give it away to somebody who'd really appreciate it, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Because hopefully we can fuel the next generation of the hobby.
And the other tank that you guys won for is the birdcage tank, which I'm going to throw a still up so you guys can see it. Tell me, what was the inspiration for that?
So we have a parrot cichlid, and when we got it, I thought it would be a really cool idea if we could build him a bird cage for this parrot cichlid. But as Jeff said, you have to kind of reevaluate, reassess. We couldn't find a tank that was round and big enough for the parrot cichlid, and what we found was this 10-gallon hex. So we were like, well, we'll start with that, and then we'll figure out the fish later. And we looked into maybe trying to get a bird cage to put over, but nothing really worked out. But luckily, Jeff is a master at building things, and he actually built that whole bird cage by hand. It's all made of wood and wire, and we painted it, put it over the tank, and we ultimately decided to put goldfish in it because we love our goldfish, and we thought they looked really good.
Had a really elegant look to him as well.
Right.
So that's not a real bird cage, that's just scratch built.
Yeah, it's all from scratch. It's all wood, wire, paint, pieces coming together. So a lot of 30-degree angle cuts for that hexagon.
Have you done many themed tanks like this, or is this kind of your first foray into that sort of thing?
I've actually got a background in industrial design. That's what I went to school for. So I had a little bit of a primer to making models and making functional models, so to speak. But I've never made anything that had to be waterproof or anything that had to really showcase a tank, where the tank was central to it. And you know, there are programs that do this sort of thing, but we wanted to really showcase the fish. We wanted it to be about the tank and not about what's around it. And I hope it came together, you know, so it's all one thing. But yeah, so as far as making something like this before, this is my first time doing it. But I knew that I had the skills to do so. She had great ideas, so I think we could put them together and really make a great collaboration on them.
You guys did a terrific job. It was a pleasure to meet you both.
Absolutely.
Just another great thing about coming to a club event like this is seeing this kind of thing. I have a steampunk aquarium at home.
That's awesome.
That's been gathering dust. It's a project I've been wanting to work on for a long time. Next year might be a good excuse to put that together. Seeing these things has given me the courage to go ahead and build my weird tank that I want to do.
What I love about this one is it's kind of like a physical representation of that joke. Two fish sitting in a tank. one looks at the other and says, "Any idea how to drive this thing?"
I love that you've even got sort of camouflage. What are those?
So we've got some Corridors Paleatus in the tank, which are sort of camouflage coloration. The colors are a little bit of blue, a little bit of gray, but very spotty like a camouflage. Like Eddie's shirt, who won the tank, he came up in his perfect camouflage. It was absolutely fantastic. And then the Army Green Tiger Barbs, which are just green tiger barbs. It's a genetic mutation. Beautiful coloration to them. And really wanted to make the tank pretty simple inside to showcase the fish.
All right. Guys, it was terrific to meet you. I can't wait to see you maybe next year.
Yeah, we're starting thinking ideas now. That's the trick.
We'll be looking forward to competing against your steampunk tank.
Oh yeah. You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
Get up early.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Terrific.
So much.
Okay guys, so that's all I have for you today. Remember to follow your bliss, keep a clean tank. I'll see you soon. Yeah. We're actually in the middle of an interview. Nice to meet you. Please excuse me.
It's okay. Are you the clone?